Hello, nice to meet you again and welcome to Kênh News of Cần Thơ radio and television station. Headline today. The delegation of the Ministry of Health had a working session with Cần Thơ City on the COVID-19 epidemic prevention work. A meeting to listen to the report on the implementation of the conclusions of the Sitting Committee on coping with the COVID-19 pandemic in the city area. The Department of Transport of Đồng Tháp province has just announced the reorganization of passenger wharves across the river from Đồng Tháp to Cần Thơ City and vice versa. Top news. The delegation of the Ministry of Health, led by Associate Professor Dr. Nguyễn Trường Sơn, who is also Deputy Minister of Health, has just had a working session with Cần Thơ City on the COVID-19 epidemic prevention work. Mr. Lê Quang Mạnh, member of the Party Central Executive Committee, Current Secretary of Cần Thơ City Party Committee, Mr. Trần Việt Trường, Chairman of Cần Thơ City People's Committee, attended. Reporting to the delegation of the Ministry of Health, the leader of Cần Thơ City said that from July 8 to the present, the city has recorded a lot of cases of COVID-19 infection in the community. From July 8 to November 30th, the city confirmed 26,385 infection cases. The total number of occurred cases is 12,529 or 47.4%. The number of deaths alone is about 200. Although city leaders and functional agencies have directed and implemented prevention and control measures and treatment plans in the past 2 weeks, the number of FO cases in the area has always been at a high level. Accordingly, the number of severe cases and deaths also increased much more than before. Deputy Minister of Health Nguyễn Trường Sơn and members of the delegation have recited the organization and treatment of FO of the city. However, the delegation noted that the city needs more effective stratification in treatment. The current problem is to effectively propose FO treatment at home to minimize the possibility of infection, reduce the number of severe cases and the risk of death for patients. The Deputy Minister of Health Nguyễn Trường Sơn acknowledged the recommendations of Cần Thơ city leaders. In that spirit, the Deputy Minister of Health requested the city leaders to re-statistic the vaccination rate as well as assess the epidemic level in the area, strengthen epidemiological surveillance in industrial zones, bus stations or crowded places, pay attention to the work of preventing the spread of the epidemic in hospitals, especially to ensure safety in vaccination for children. On the morning of December 1st, the Standing Board of the City Party Committee, the Standing Steering Committee for the Prevention and Control of the COVID-19 epidemic, held a meeting to listen to the report on the implementation of the conclusions of the Steering Committee on coping with COVID-19 pandemic in the city area. The reason why there are over 30% of people aged from 50 to 60 get an injection with one shot, which will the solution be solved? Report on the performance of the mobile health team, the management of FO patients' healthcare at home, and the coordination as well as treatment of FO cases that have to transfer hospital. Standing Vice Chairman of Cần Thơ City People's Committee Jung Trấn Hiển presented the report that before an ongoing epidemic situation in the city was rapid, the number of new cases were confirmed increasingly. On November 22nd, the City People's Committee will establish 62 mobile medical teams to support, manage and treat FO and F1 individuals at home. In the last 2 weeks of November, many hospitals received 3,600 people hospitalized due to being positive for SARS-CoV-2. At the same time, the whole city had 3,614 people discharged from the hospital, with 57 deaths. The city has also vaccinated children from 12 to 17 years old, reaching 88.54%. Delegates discussed, commented, and analyzed the number of deaths, distribution, and use of molnupiravir for FO cases. to assist the health sector of the city in household management tasks at home. On November 30th, the Network Physicians Committee officially has transferred the volunteer model of healthcare from distance in Cần Thơ City. More to follow. The Network Physicians Committee has been recognized by the Ministry of Health to be a model of FO support at home. In this phase, the network needs to recruit 500 doctors and 1,000 medical volunteers in distance to take care of FO's health in Cần Thơ City. Previously, in order to cope with the scale of epidemic rising new 1,000 COVID-19 cases each day, Cần Thơ City People's Committee has issued an official dispatch to suggest the young physicians of Vietnam give instructions as model at the locality. Then, the coordination board of the network transferred the model to Cần Thơ City People's Committee, Department of Health, Department of Information and Communications, and Cần Thơ Young Physicians. Currently, Cần Thơ City confirms nearly 10,000 FO cases that have been treated at home and more than 9,480 F1 cases followed and isolated at home. Moving on the other news, on the morning of December 1st, the supervision delegation of Cần Thơ Department of Industry and Trade came to work with the Steel Liability Limited Company on producing and business of the unit at Janok Industrial Zone. Tado Steel Liability Limited Company said the main product of the unit is construction steel with the design capacity of about 120,000 tons of products per year, mainly supplying to the Mekong Delta region and exporting to Laos and Cambodia. The unit has more than 300 employees and is supplying the 3 on-the-spot productions to maintain production business. Over the inspection, the company has well complied with the legal policies on energy saving, environmental protection, and labor safety, building an environmental treatment system. Especially, the company has fully done the rights and obligations of enterprises towards the locality. Through working, the unit also proposed to leaders of the Department of Industry and Trade to propose the City People's Committee to solve some difficulties for enterprises to stabilize production and export. The Department of Transport of Đồng Tháp Province has just announced the organization of passenger wharves across the river from Đồng Tháp Province to Cần Thơ City and vice versa. The announcement also noted the recognition of riverside passenger wharves to ensure regulations on prevention and control of the COVID-19 epidemic. Accordingly, wharves bằng Trang Cái Dứa, Bà Quá, Vĩnh Thới, Tân Lộc, Tân Thành, Tân Lộc, Cái Đôi, Bò Ót, Định An will reopen again and ensure regulations not over 50% passengers on the mean. Units need to map out and implement a plan to prevent and control the COVID-19 epidemic and a plan for handling when there is a case of COVID-19 according to the provisions of Decision Number 1812 PQD BG-TVT of the Ministry of Transport, as well as ensure the conditions and measures for epidemic prevention and control before and during the operation. With an ongoing complicated COVID-19 epidemic situation, Omong District has strengthened propaganda to office workers, civil servants, officers and employees, as well as local people in each area, focused on implementing epidemic prevention control measures. Omong District People's Committee has given office workers, civil servants, employees instructions on installing the application of electronic health book, BC COVID, to make an electronic medical declaration. Agencies, units, businesses register QR codes to control people in and out. In addition, the district also promotes propaganda on epidemic prevention control measures on the loudspeaker system and social networks, contributing to raising awareness of the epidemic prevention of each individual. The district also organized vaccination against COVID-19 in 7 wards for those who are 12 years old or over, who have not received the first dose, and who are due for the second dose of AstraZeneca, Pfizer, and Verocell vaccines. Vaccination is carried out quickly, safely. And now let's look at the weather condition. That's all for Kênh News, Cần Thơ radio and television station. Thanks so much for your attention. Please visit us on website canthotv.vn. Bye for now.